Yeah, it honestly feels a little weird because it all just came really quick. Not the decision at all, but just letting my teammates know, letting the world know I don't know, I'm ready for it, but just to go on this emotional roller coaster, it's still the end of something that's been like such a big part of me for so many years, is really hard. We all know yesterday my decision was announced to retire from soccer, and I'm just so grateful to everyone who played a part, big or small, in my career, and I'm so fortunate that I get to end that career here in this incredible city in San Diego. It has been a long time of playing soccer, of dreaming to be a professional soccer player when I was younger, to then being a mom and seeing my daughter just be so inspired by my teammates and just call them her teammates and her best friends. It has just been an incredible ride. I'm really fortunate I get one last game with this team here at Snapdragon. I will be playing limited minutes this weekend, but nonetheless, it's always an honor to be able to lace up my boots and step out on that field for one last time. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to try not to be too emotional with the questions asked and my answers, but I'll definitely open it up to any questions now. Thank you.
Thanks, Al. We'll start with some questions in the room, and we're going to just limit it to 2 questions per outlet and then get to some on Zoom. So we'll start with SD football.
Hello, Alex. Congratulations on a magnificent career. Looking back, what do you think the legacy will be for U.S. soccer, for global football, and here in San Diego moving forward?
I hope my legacy is that I pushed the game forward, that I helped gain respect for the women's game, that I increase the value and the investment in the women's game, that I helped players and myself not only be respected in the game, but have better resources, be protected, have player safety be at the forefront, have women's soccer players do just that, play soccer, not have to fight for so many other things that we've had to continually fight for, and have had to even before I stepped on the field with the national team or with my club teams, various club teams. Here in San Diego, I just want to represent this city so proudly, and I believe I've done that for the last 2.5 years. To be honest, I was not expecting to finish my career mid-season. This came unexpected, and at the beginning of 2024, I wanted to end this season, going to playoffs, winning a championship. You have big hopes for your last year, and I still have such high hopes for this team, but unfortunately, plans don't always go the way that you draft them up, and I think that for me, it's just being a forever supporter of this team, this organization, and just being forever embedded into this community here.
Sorry, I forgot to mention, we do have microphones so that people on Zoom can hear. So whoever has the next question, he's ready to go.
Alex, thank you for a great career and for coming here to finish in San Diego. What are the possibilities of Alex Morgan potentially considering the coaching area?
I have not taken any coaching licenses, I'll just say that. I don't think coaching is in my future. I think that I've found my calling in just investing in women's sports, doing as much as I can to give as big of a platform to women's sports as possible. I do that through my media company Together. I'm doing that through my foundation, the Alex Morgan Foundation that I launched last year here in San Diego, through other various businesses and investments, personal investments that I've had, one being Unrivaled, the new women's basketball league, 3v3 league that's coming out. So I see that that's where I will make the most impact.
Jonathan, you had one here. We'll pass the mic along, the baton.
Hey Alex, Joseph with the Bet On Her Collective. Your career is remarkable, but I think what is remarkable even further beyond that is the human being that you are and the incredible impact you've made on women's sports. Now that you're sitting in this position, what do you see as kind of the next phase of that impact, and what kind of role do you hope to play in the future? And as a follow-up question, earlier on this year, we asked you kind of what taking a bet on yourself looks like this year in the season. And I'm curious, has your answer to that question changed?
Yeah, I'll just answer that one first. I have always been an advocate of betting on yourself, of trying and not giving up. And looking back to this year, like, it's in no way what I imagined through the Olympics, through the season that we're having here. But in no way would I ever regret playing one more year, because I've always told myself that, like, if you don't try, you can't succeed. The only way to succeed is through trying and giving everything, and that's all that I've tried to do. And as much as this year has been difficult mentally, physically, with injuries, left off an important roster, it's all part of the character that I've built to, respond to things and to overcome adversity. And this isn't the first time in my career that things like this have happened, and I've always been able to overcome them. And I've always leaned on teammates, on family, on those that I've built my support system around to help. And I'm, so grateful that I have such clarity in the decision that I made at the start of this year to retire at the end of the season. Yes, it's cut short, but it was, it was a year that I am so grateful for, regardless of all the ups and downs. And that's one thing that I will always say, is to always bet on yourself. If you don't have it, like, in your heart, no one can teach you that. No one can give you that. You have to give yourself that. And that's the first leg up on anything. When it comes to my role after soccer, that's still, to be determined. I'm really happy supporting this team. I really love this team so much. I also love the national team. It's a bittersweet way to end, but I gave everything to that team for 15 years, and just to hear all of my teammates, calling, texting, writing to me, just knowing that we really did grow up together on that team. It's just more than, honestly, I said it yesterday, the return is more than I could have ever hoped for, because it's true. I had a dream to play professional soccer. I didn't know that all of these extra opportunities and friendships and just love and passion for so many different things would come out of wanting to become a professional soccer player and living out my dreams. So I'm just really grateful, and I'm really happy where I am, and I'm looking forward to continue growing our family in this city, and continuing on my various businesses that I just talked about as well.
Thanks, Al. Yes, up front here, Abraham.
Hey, Alex.
Thank you for the time. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit to what it means to have all your teammates here watching you and, you know, supporting you through this retirement. And what was the conversation like when you told them that you were retiring?
I am overwhelmed and just so grateful to have my teammates here. I had no idea at all. So it's just walking in this room, it's incredible to just see the support that they're showing me today. Just funny enough, I was driving in here, of course, like late and rushing in. And the security at the loading dock was like, "Oh, are you one of the players?" And I was like, "I'm the player." Like, I'm just the only player that's here. And he was like, "Okay, yeah, park right there." And then I walked in and I was like, "Oh, okay, I am one of the players. Yes, it's not just me." But it just was incredible to see my teammates here. And I think just like having a special team like this and players like that, I look in the back of the room that are 16 years old, to players that are closer to my age. Some players are closer in age to my daughter than they are to me. But having that relationship with them, just getting to know them and, you know, being able to lean on them and vice versa, and knowing that we're all peers and we can all learn from each other, that's been the most special part of it all. I may have had more time in the game, but I definitely don't feel like I know or are owed more than they are. And I think that these last couple of years in San Diego, it's just been amazing to have just so many different teammates from around the country, around the world, support each other. And I'm just grateful.
We're one of the more attended teams in the league as far as like fans go. Can you talk a little bit to what it means to have helped build such a strong fan base in such a short time in San Diego?
Yeah, it's no secret. What we built is special, and we have the highest attendance of the league for the last 2 seasons since we've moved to Snapdragon and overflowed at Torero. It's just been amazing to see this city rally behind this team, and this team also use our platform to go out in the community and want to really dig in and be a part of this city. I haven't been on a team before where I've seen so many players going out to community events, going out to charities and organizations to lend a helping hand, to want to get more involved. It has honestly been incredible. To literally every one of my teammates showing up at last year's first gala for the Alex Morgan Foundation, which I hope they come again this year. You're all invited. This team is honestly something special, but also just the people in this city, the fans, are just relentless in their willingness to support the teams here, and we feel so loved every single game. Soon enough, coming very soon, I will be one of those fans because I'm forever a fan of this team.
I think we had one in this maroon shirt over here.
Alex, Bryce Miller from the San Diego Union Tribune. How old were you the last time you weren't playing soccer? And what do you think that little girl would think of the career you've had and the journey you've been on?
I honestly started playing soccer when I was 5 or so, and before that I was going to my sister's soccer games and kicking the ball around, holding the ball, around the sidelines, watching my sisters play. That's a big reason that I, wanted to grow our family. Is I want Charlie to have siblings like that. I want siblings to look up to her. I want a big chaotic family, like, not too big, but chaotic family like I had growing up. My sisters meant everything to me, and they were the inspiration behind why I wanted to play soccer in the first place. Just when I look back to that little girl, I just see someone just so competitive, so eager to do everything, so eager to try everything, so confident and fearless. I see that in my daughter now, and it makes me proud that I've fostered that in a way that my mom did for me and my sisters growing up. I think just raising my daughter Charlie around a group of women every day that are so confident in what they do, that just have purpose, have found their calling, and are so like willing and open to share that with her, is something that not a lot of girls get at that age. And it was important to me to bring her on with me on trips because I wanted her to experience that. I wanted her to see just how incredible these women were, not just in their passion of playing soccer, but everything else they did. All of us as female athletes do more than just play our sport. You know, we're building businesses, we're creating our own charities, we're, helping our families back home. There's so many different things that we're fighting for, equality within the sport, with sport equity, doing different advocacy. So there's always just something more to female athletes. And I think that's, so special and unique to women's sports. Being able to show my daughter that, is something that as a mom it is honestly the most amazing thing to be able to witness.
Yeah, go ahead here.
Alex, congratulations. Chris Crow with CBS 8 here in San Diego. What would be your message to young girls who are watching this right now, who are going to watch your highlights on YouTube and all the work that you've done for women's sports about achieving their dreams, and then also for parents about how they can support those dreams?
Yeah, I think, for a young girl, there's no secret to success. It's all about hard work. It's all about believing in yourself, betting on yourself, and having that confidence. And building that support system, if that's your parents, if that's your siblings, if that's your teammates or your friends. Building people and those building blocks around you that believe in the same thing that you do. And if that's to become a professional athlete, if that's to make your high school soccer team, whatever that is, you need someone around you to help be like, yes, you can do this. Because if you believe it in your heart, you need someone to be able to validate that. Like, I have not done anything in my career alone, ever. Like, I've always stood on the shoulders of my family, of my siblings, of my teammates at times. Like, we have all worked together to create something special and, win medals, have success, do all these incredible things, but nothing is done alone. And so I just want young girls to know that anything they set their minds to, they can achieve. And I am trying to help create a pathway for every young girl to see that and to know that, if you see it, you can be it. And I think that's so important when it comes to the investment in women's sports. Is you're seeing so much more women's sports on TV nowadays, on streaming platforms, anywhere and everywhere, through my media company Together, with the stories that we're doing to uplift women in sport. All of that didn't exist when I was a kid. I was lucky to be able to play on an all-girls soccer team, sometimes a co-ed team at school, but an all-girls soccer team. Not all women my age had a girls soccer team. They had to play on a boys soccer team or a boys sports team. So just to see the progress that we've made in the last 20 or 30 years. It's incredible. And just in the last 5 years alone in the NWSL on the global stage, we're seeing everything blow up in the way that we always fought for and we always knew would happen. And so I think it's just, for that young girl, it's go after anything and everything you could imagine. Like, do what you think is impossible.
We'll take a couple more in the room, then head to the Zoom. Johnny, you had one?
Johnny Richardson, Everything San Diego. At what point did you make the decision that this Sunday will be your final match?
A few weeks ago, I found out I was pregnant, and it was as unexpected as it was. I was so happy because this was what our family wanted, a couple months sooner than expected, but nonetheless, we were very overjoyed. So I think the last couple of weeks was very stressful, but it was, consulting with my doctor, talking with my husband, kind of understanding when could be the last game that or when I could play up until safely, when would be the final game, when I would announce and finally be able to tell my teammates in the world. And it just felt like this was the right time. I felt like the last couple of weeks, I sort of lost a step, in playing, and I felt like for my body and my mind and my heart, this was the right decision at this time.
We'll head to the,
Were your teammates notified?
I told my teammates on Wednesday morning, so I wanted them to know, good 24 hours before I told the rest of the world.
okay, we'll head to the back. Frank, you had one? We'll wait for the mic.
Okay.
Oh,
Hi,
sorry,
Alex.
more, okay.
Okay, it's
It
okay.
Go
is
ahead.
so warm in here. I feel
It
like I'm
is.
sweating.
Okay. Hi, Alex. This is Amor Villa for Diario AS from Spain. And I want you to ask, San Diego make a lot of efforts to grow soccer all over the years, but it seems that when Alex Moran signed for San Diego, everyone take a look on the soccer here and start everything. Are you aware of that? Do you feel like that? To be that person, that spark for soccer here?
There has been a minor spotlight on me in the last 10 years, 15 years, that I have felt, but I have taken that very seriously. And when I chose to come to San Diego, I did it because of the expectations that San Diego was setting on themselves, the standard that this organization had from the start. And it was important to me to be able to not only share that vision, but to be able to try to make San Diego one of the best clubs in the world. I think that we still have a ways to go to getting there, but the fact that you look in this room and see all my teammates, these are some of the best players in the world. You look out and see the fans, these are some of the best fans in the world, and I don't think that any other team is pulling in numbers like this week in and week out. You see what we've been able to build, the amount of trophies that we've been able to accumulate, from the Challenge Cup this year to the Shield last year to making playoffs in our first year. I don't know that a club in their first 3 years, 2.5 years, have been able to accomplish what this club has been able to accomplish in such a short period of time. So with that, I'm very, very proud of the part that I've played in that. And I want that spotlight to continue on San Diego because I just think it's continuing to go up from here, regardless of, this season that we've had thus far. This club is doing things the right way. These players are so passionate about playing here like I am. And there's just a lot of like-minded people here at this organization. And that's why I'm so proud to play here. I'm so proud to be a fan here long after my playing career, year after year. Like, I will be here in these stands cheering for these women play their hearts out every weekend.
Last one in the room from Frank, and we need to get to the Zoom.
Alex, first off, congratulations, and just for all that you've done for the city. But one thing I want to know is this, is that, you know, before every match, I got to assume that you got butterflies, all you guys have butterflies in your stomach. How much of the butterflies is going to be flying before this final match?
Yeah, it's interesting when you're like leading up to such a big game, and this feels very similar. You're just like in training leading up, and you're like, okay, don't roll your ankle, like don't get injured, don't get sick. And yeah, I feel like there is going to be, I think just not only like butterflies, like you said, like there's always nerves going into a game, but I think this game, I just want to soak it in. I want to be wide-eyed like I was when I came into playing soccer, when I was playing on the national team when I was 19 years old. I just want to soak everything in. And this isn't just like a celebration of me. This is a celebration of everyone that has done something to help me be here. My family who you know, are going to be over 80 people in the stands on Sunday. You know, so many friends who have reached out, so many people that want to watch that game. You know, although it's might only be a few minutes or limited minutes, I just want to take in every moment of the game on Sunday, from stepping into the locker room, getting ready with my teammates, getting my ankle taped for one last time, warming up one last time, and, you know, singing the national anthem on the field with my daughter right there with me. She'll be there with me, so I'm very excited about that. Yeah, it's just all the little moments. It's the accumulation of those little moments that you sometimes just take for granted, because those are like the moments outside of the game. Like, all we want to do as soccer players is we want to play that 90-minute game, but it's all those outside moments that I'll definitely be looking forward to. And then the moment that's my turn to step off the field, yeah, I've just watched so many incredible players. I went to Mia Hamm's retirement game in 2004. I don't even know how old I was. My mom took me because she knew I wanted to become a professional soccer player. And so that like just had a profound impact on me. I couldn't tell you how many minutes she played or what she even did on the field, but the fact that I saw her for the last time ever step on the field and step off, just, yeah, it changed me. So from that to Abby, to, you know, watching here at Snapdragon last year, Megan Rapinoe play her last game, Ali Krieger, and now being able to do that, it's going to be emotional, I'm sure.
All right, we'll get to a couple on the Zoom here. Meg Linehan, if you want to unmute yourself and ask.
Thanks very much, Alex. Meg Linehan, The Athletic. I mean, a couple of the names that you just mentioned, but I think about your time across the national team and the league, and your relationships with people like Megan Rapinoe, and I mean, Becky Sauerbrunn, the list could go on. How have they shaped you through your career and changed who you are as a person?
Yeah, players like Megan, Becky, Kelly, we played on the national team for 15 years together. Like, me and Kelly had our first caps together. You know, Pino and Becky, we went to every single major tournament together, Kelly included. And so just to think about those players and how they shaped me and who I am, I mean, it is so much. I mean, from not only on the field to having those hard conversations off the field and what we want to fight for, where we stand on things, how we differ in our opinions and how that's okay. You know, I just have so much to, I've so much that I owe those players, those 3 players that I played pretty much all of my career with. They're special people in my heart, and I would not be where I am today without them 3. Not only did they have and still have fantastic careers, Becky, still playing, but they are just incredible people that opened their hearts, that were vulnerable, and that gave everything when they stepped on the field and when they stepped off the field. And I learned so much from at times sitting back and at times stepping up, at times leaning in a little bit and at times leaning out. Like there were times where I needed to step up and I felt uncomfortable and they gave me the confidence and vice versa. So, you know, those 3 are very special humans and they deserve just the world. I adore those 3.
Jeff Kassouf, we'll have you go next.
Thanks, Jeff Kassouf, ESPN. Alex, I'm wondering, continuing the off-field trend that you've talked about it, how much the sport has grown and this league specifically, and you've obviously been a part of that. I'm wondering, is there a particular development in the sport at large and how it's grown, and maybe this league specifically or the national team that you've seen more up close that you're most proud of seeing in terms of where the game is now versus where it was when you entered it?
Yeah. Looking back to my career and the start of it, I look at, overlapping with the legends of, Abby Wambach, Shannon Box, Chrissy Rampone, Lauren Holiday, so many players that had such a huge impact on women's soccer, globally and here domestically. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to, they talked about passing the torch, and I took that, and was I ready for that? I have no idea, but I helped carry that for a long time on the national team, and in doing so, I felt like I had a responsibility, not only a responsibility to fight for, equal pay, to fight for sports equity, to do, different things in the sport to uplift and protect players, but also to make the game a avenue to be able to play and make a living from whatever age you want to, from whether that's 16, 18, 20, 21. I wanted players to have that avenue and feel like they had the resources to be their best selves from that age. I felt like, I feel like I've done my part in a way that I am, although this year wasn't the year that I had hoped to have, like I'm so proud of the U.S. national team going to France and winning gold. Like that to me is a proud moment, because I see some of those players playing in that game. I see Trinity, Soph, Naomi, I see even Croy coming in and having a big part within the team when it was a little unexpected for her. Some of these younger players who have been able to just focus on themselves, focus on their teams, get better every day, have a pathway to be able to do that, have the resources to do that. Like that's what I've fought for. And I haven't always, and I've known that I wouldn't always benefit from all the things that I fought for, but in, fighting for equal pay and attaining that finally was such a pivotal moment in the history of women's soccer. It created this sort of butterfly effect throughout women's soccer globally that is irreversible, and that I only see continuing to grow. So, it, as much as I wanted to be there this year, and, I felt like we're in good hands. Like, the future of women's soccer, the now, the present, and the future of women's soccer is in such an amazing place where I have done everything that I've needed to do. I have accomplished everything that I have come to do and achieved what I've needed to do. And to see those players step on the field and do work and be able to do it at such young age with such poise and such confidence, like, that's what this is all about. That's why, like, I'm so happy being here saying, yes, I'm retiring, because we are more than fine. We are great.
We'll take one more online. Sandra Herrera, go ahead.
Thanks, Sandra, CBS Sports. First, congratulations to you, Alex, and Servando and Charlie, the announcement of the pregnancy. Thanks for everything you've done for the game. You've changed it in so many ways, and I would argue even including in the media coverage of this. So my question is related to that. You kind of burst onto the national stage in a time where coverage was growing with social media and video, and now we celebrate like new broadcast deals and different types of coverage. So how do you feel about what coverage was when you started and its growth over your time as a player, and where and how do you want to see coverage of this game evolve?
It's actually funny thinking about coverage when I started, because I learned like that I was drafted to Western New York Flash in 2011 from our press officer when we landed in China with the national team, because like Twitter wasn't really a big thing. It definitely wasn't broadcasted. There's clearly no service on planes back then. And so it's just to think that we've come a long way where we actually won't have a draft moving forward. Women's soccer has come an incredible way, but just coverage in general is, I'm floored by how well covered this sport is, and all of the reporters and people that dug in at little or no salary to cover women's soccer for so long, when they did it for the passion, because that's what we did growing, on the national team and early on with, with the WPS and the NWSL. We played soccer because we were passionate about playing. We didn't play for the money. There was no money. Trust me, none. So it has come a long way, and it is just so incredible to see the new broadcasting rights deal, just the new CBA taking place with the NWSLPA and the NWSL in terms of a new revenue share model that really has never been done before, is unprecedented. All of these things that women's soccer is just, it's not making a mark, it's building a new pathway that never existed before. And it makes me so just happy that we have gone down a path that women's sports have accelerated in such a fast way and progressed over the last 5 or 10 years. And I have been able to be I've had a front seat at it these last 10 years. And I hope to continue my part in women's sports, but just to literally be at the front seat and watch and be a part of this all unfold is really amazing. And yeah, couldn't be happier.
I believe we had one more question in the room. White pants, yeah, Naomi?
White pants. I was like, who's that?
Oh yeah, we need a mic.
Naomi Gurma, San Diego Wave. I have 2 questions. First one, what is your favorite soccer memory? Or a few if you can't pick one. And the second one is, can we still bring Charlie on a away trip?
Okay, well, the Charlie thing, I don't know. I mean, she has grown a liking to Hillary.
Hillary
so
can nanny.
It's up to Hillary. Somehow she jumped to first place in the last 3 weeks. I don't know. She really put in the effort there. Favorite soccer memories. Oh, goodness. I mean, I I don't know. I think one really special moment is when I think we had 4 or 5 moms on the team at once, between myself, Casey, Julie, Crystal, and AD. And growing up on the national team, I had seen Chrissy Rampone have 2 kids and just make it seem so easy. And looking back, I'm just like, wow, like that must have been so hard. And she just was literally the hardest defender to get around, but also just wrangled 2 kids after training every day. So I think like that was a really special moment to be able to enjoy with some of my teammates, knowing how far we'd come and the support that we now get as moms and still as professional athletes. I also want to say some of my best memories is when we won the Olympics and the 2 world championships. And it wasn't the like winning, I mean, it was a winning, but it was just the fact that we were so focused. And I mean, you can probably attest this from this summer. But it was more the fact that you're so like driven and focused, and you're like, it's like not robotic, but you're just like in it, and you're on like, I don't know, auto drive. Like you feel like you're just like so like you have the blinders on and you're just like looking forward. And then when you win, it like you get to celebrate with your friends and family, and you get to be like human again. You're not just like an athlete. And I think that's the best part, is like we're all humans and we all have like emotions, and we all have like vulnerabilities. And in sports, a lot of times like you're so shut off from that, like you're so disconnected from your emotions, from like the real world, because you're just like so driven. So winning those, it just, you feel like you can be human, and you can like celebrate, and you can actually just like enjoy and be vulnerable and like smile. Like sometimes you don't smile for like weeks at a time, and you just don't realize it until you finally get to that end point. And so I think just like being able to do that and just go down, what was it, Broadway or, in New York, and like celebrate with fans and actually just like be like a human and not like the athlete that everyone just is seeing you as like this robotic thing, this like thing on this platform. Like I'm just like a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend. I'm not just like a teammate and an athlete. And I think the special moments was like when we won, we got to just be more than just the athlete.
I think that's a beautiful way to end it. Thank you, Alex, so much for everything. We'll give her a round of applause. And thank you all for joining us today. We'll see many of you on Sunday. Big day.